So, for example, what's it called? You're going to go diagonally across from where you started. So across the entire opposite side of the room from your first position is where you're going to go in the third debuff. So as soon as this one goes out...
Wait, what?
See if... Because we need to do 3. So hang on. Yeah, stop. I don't think you can just do 2.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah,
There should be front of the room swaps and back of the room swaps.
with Doom Turtles we do 2. We stay on the...
If we can do it in 2, we'll just do it on 2. So you're just going to stay on the front of the room if you're in the front room, or the back of the room if you're in the back of the room. However, sometimes it does devolve into chaos, and we do need people to potentially swap.
It does at the end, when there's only 2 left, it does dissolve into chaos.
And we need as many... All the warriors, you really should have a mic. Mic is very important. It's like very, very important.
All of our warriors do have a mic, so we're good.
So you're just going to go crisscross at the front of the room between the marks. That's all you're going to basically be doing. Alright, so let's go to the front of the room, and let's try the healers and the tanks together with a pull. Alright, everyone come to the front of the room.
Yep.
Alright, let's get ready. We do the pull. Go to your spots. Quick, healers and tanks, go to your spots. Let's go.
Mooser's backing over here.
Yeah.
Where's that tank?
He was respecting.
I
Yeah,
go
sorry.
too soon.
Okay, remember? Alright, yeah,
Am I
I'll
too
look
early
at
again?
the end. Yep, the end. Alright, first debuff now. Go.
No, Iola, you're number 3. You have to go back.
Iola, do you have bigwigs installed? Because you should be able to see
I
timers
do,
on
I'm
the screen.
seeing it. I forgot
cool.
that I was supposed to wait for 3. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
That was debuff number 2.
2.
Metal, you want to bubble yourself whenever you're running away from 2.
Make sure if you're tanking first that you wait for the second tank to get to you before you start the loop.
Alright. P1. Two. And 3. And we'll do it for one more 1, 2, 3. So next tanks will be going back to their original. Right, 1. Two. Three. Remember tanks, you gotta wait for the tank to get to you before you go out. So you're probably gonna get a 4th debuff on the way out, but that's fine.
Yeah.
You're 3, right?
Yeah, 1. Bracky should have run before. We would have died.
I wasn't
Oh,
sure.
you-
Alright.
No, it's all good. You just gotta pay attention for you for this fight. You're just every time you've got 3 debuffs, you move to the next corner. The second you get the 3rd debuff, you start running.
Yeah, it's make a lot more sense while we're doing it.
Yeah, we can stop doing this now. I think it was pretty good. We managed to get a full rotation there, so doing it we'll get to understand a bit more. All right, now DPS. Your job is not die, okay? DPS.
Zug.
Yeah, Owen, do you wanna maybe? I never actually done this fight as DPS.
Yeah, DPS are doing the same thing. We just wanna kill Mograine and
Thane.
The
Thane
front 2.
first. Yeah. So
The
we're gonna be swapping between those guys first. We're gonna be.
And we need an even split too because we
Yeah.
want to stack the meteors. Because remember this
Yeah.
corner that I'm standing in? This guy is going to be doing the meteors, yeah? Here is meteors, so you have to stack tight on this corner when you're in this corner. DPS and healers and tanks all have to stack tight in this corner. Also,
So-
when the mark comes out and a meteor's about to come out, you have to wait for the meteor. Like, if it's less than 3 seconds, you wait before you go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to, otherwise you get one shot by a
Yeah,
meteor.
DPS is really important that you stay in as long as you can on the meteor one.
So DPS come
Make
to
sure
the
a
middle.
meeting happens
All DPS
before
come to
you
the middle.
leave.
I'm gonna mark where Mograine is gonna go and where Thane's gonna go.
You just never leave until right after a meteor.
Mograine's gonna be blue marker. Then Thane's gonna be purple marker. We're gonna do odds going to Mograine, and we're gonna have evens going to Thane. So just check your group and go to the spot you're gonna be going to.
Okay, what
Thane is left, bottom left, right?
Yes,
Thane is the meteor guy, right?
correct.
Yes.
Okay. And Thane is even.
So you want to stack up tight for the meteor,
Hunters too.
and then, okay, we just got 3 stacked, so we're gonna run all the way back to the middle, all the way back to the middle, and then we're gonna swap to the next boss, the opposite boss.
This is not the correct way to do it, I don't think, Warren. We need to have
The-
4 groups of DPS.
But
If we
we're
don't
gonna
have 4
kill
groups
the
of
two-
DPS, if we don't have 4 groups of DPS, then Thane tank is gonna die after the first 3 marks every time.
Oh yeah, people won't get there in time from the other horse.
No, it just means, yeah, it just means that there won't be anyone because if we only have 2 groups, then half the time there won't be any DPS on the bosses.
Yeah, you need.
Should
you need
Iola
two
run
groups
back
staying
in?
in the middle.
Correct.
So we need to split the DPS in 2 groups, so the DPS is waiting like the tanks are. And the DPS is basically just sticking with the same tank.
So we're not swapping. We're doing the same. What's going on?
So DPS is swapping, just like the tanks are.
Okay.
But we need to have 4 groups of DPS, just like the 4 tanks up front. Otherwise, the person tanking Thane is going to get killed every single time.
Yeah, when 2 groups are DPSing, 2 groups are waiting. And then when it rotates, that group that is waiting goes in with the tank, and we rinse and repeat.
Yeah, so we'll have 8 tanks, 12 healers, which leaves us with 20 DPS. So we should just have 4 groups of DPS, and each group is assigned to a timing. This fight's really not that bad for DPS yet. I mean, the only thing DPS really need to keep in mind is not chaining the beams and not killing the person with the meteors. Yeah, you just follow your group the entire time. Basically, each DPS is going to be assigned to a tank. Each tank will have 5 DPS assigned to them, and they're just going to follow that tank basically the entire time. Except they'll leave a little bit earlier than the tank, usually because the tank needs to stay in and wait for a taunt.
Do you want to assign them now, seeing as the groups are spread with tanks and stuff like that for buffs?
That might make some sense. Yeah, DPS will leave earlier than the tanks, so just keep that in mind, because the tanks need to wait for taunts. DPS leaves as soon as they get 3 stacks. So like the healers, you leave as soon as you have 3 stacks from the current marks. The tanks just need to wait until they get relieved before they leave.
And just remember, if you're on the Chain Lightning boss as a DPS or the Meteor boss, that is also a factor in when you leave.
Yes. When you leave
No melee. to chain lightning.
Yeah, melee never goes to the chain holy. And any range that are on that, make sure that you're spread out when you're leaving.
Yep, far right one is like
That one's only really a problem for the healers and tanks, because they need to also spread out, and
Yeah.
the tanks need to be careful when moving in.
And I found the biggest killer on this server is over here, healers. This corner here, the biggest killer. So when
Void
you're in
zones.
this corner, you must pay attention to the void zone timer. As soon
That's
as it
the
hits 0,
circle?
you got to get ready to. Yeah, it's big black circles on the floor that will pretty much one shot you if you stay in it for more than 1 second. If you are like me and have really bad ping, when the void zone is about to come out, I wouldn't even be casting. I would be moving so that if the void zone's on, you're fine straight away.
Also, if I can add, Jay, for the tanks who are in this corner, if you see that you have a problem with Blomo and he's starting to run through the middle, you have to say to the people who are in the restroom here, in the middle in the safe zone, that they are no longer safe and they have to be careful if there's a void zone under them, because that happens and that wipes the raid every time.
Do the zones spawn under the tanks?
So it spawns
they can.
under someone that's in range of the mark. So if lady moves too much into the middle, people who are in the safe zone can be hit by the mark and can have this mark under them. So that's really dangerous. It's something we have to just know.
So yeah, as a DPS, if you get 3 stacks, just move to the next boss. That's all you have to do.
No.
Do a V
If you
to
get
V.
3 stacks, you move to the safe zone for 3 cycles, and then move to the next boss after that.
I've always DPS with 3 stacks. You can get multiple debuffs.
The video I think says you do like this corner, then you go to the middle, and then you do like a V pattern, right?
You don't have to wait for your stacks to drop off. They're different debuffs.
Yeah, they're all 4 different ones. So you just go to the next target.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
So
you're
you
just
can get
cycling
like-
around in a circle, that makes sense, but we're not doing that.
No, you do it in a triangle. So, like, the idea is that if you have the 3 stacks from the first boss, then you get the 3 stacks from the next boss. As long as you don't pick up the 4th, then you go to the rest to get your 3 initial stacks to fall off before you go back into your first place, so that you don't get more than 3 where you started.
So shouldn't we do 3 people for melees? So we always have people for the meteor here. So there's one resting, one on the meteor guy, and one on the fire guy on the other side. Group, I mean, and they swap all the time.
You can do that, you just want to make sure you kill one as fast as possible.
The DPS, all the tanks and healers come back to the full spot.
Just pop world buffs and then get
And
killed by the
DPS.
chain lightning.
DPS stand on me.
This fight requires a ton of explanation speed. It's just gonna have to chill.
Alright. Groups 1 and 5 DPS stand here. Alright. Groups 2 and 6 DPS stand over here. Alright, the rest of your DPS, you're gonna be on Thane first. Alright. This pile here, you're going to the safe spot first, up here. Yeah, we're missing a couple here. Let's get Grim come over into this group here. And Evil Monka, you come over to this group here.
Am I, even though I'm in group 4, I'm going with them?
Fine, that's fine. You just as long as people like get an idea of the pool going at the start. All right, so at the first pool, you guys here are gonna go into this corner and DPS this boss here, right? Until you have 3 marks. Meteor people over in the other corner where Durus Maxi are, you guys are gonna be mark the star. In that corner, you're gonna DPS. Once we all get 3 marks, we run into the middle, and the guys in the middle run to star. Yeah, star, you can come run. Star, come with the group. Now, if you were DPSing with star at the beginning, you go over to this one. Go down that way, yeah. Alright, and then when 3 go again, we go this way. And then this group over in Thane goes to the middle. And the star would go back in. Like the DPS, and then the middle would go over. It's very simple. We just have 3 groups. Just when you get 3 debuffs, you run to the middle. You see if the other group's running in, you run in. Well, very easy. Go back and forth between those 3 groups. Make sure Thane's always
should be out with us.
I just want to make sure everyone sees the boss first, because we've been here explaining for a good half an hour. So I think when we actually do the
like that until those 2 guys are dead, right?
Yep, until those 2 guys are dead. And then Melee, you are just going to go DPS this corner over here, the Void Zone lady. Don't die to Void Zones. So you get 3, and then you're going to run in the safe spot, and you're going to do nothing or bandage yourselves and others until your things fall off, and you're going to go back in this corner. Casters, once the first 2 horses are dead, you're going to run to this corner, get 3 stacks, and then run into the other corner and get 3 stacks. And then run into the safe zone until your Zeliac stacks fall off, and then you can run back in and do Zeliac stacks. Make sure when you're in this corner, though, you do not create a chain of people. It is exactly the same as like the salad thing for Cthulhu. Don't be more than 10 yards.
And don't be melee in there.
Yeah, if you're melee and we're in the back, you're just fighting Blummo and then running to the safe zone and then waiting for your stacks to drop off.
Alright, does anyone have any major questions?
So what happens when people kind of like don't know where to go? Just go to the safe zone and then wait for everything to drop off?
Yes, that's a smart plan.
Okay.
In the video, it said healers should never go to the safe zone, correct?
That is
Is
correct.
correct.
Healers always rotate, right?
We're going to be rotating around.
Once the first 2 bosses are dead, half the healers can be in a safe zone, I suppose.
Once the horse is dead, what's it called? When you're meant to be in that corner, you're in the safe zone. Because once the horse is dead, it still continues to do the AoE aura. So if a horse is about to die and it's lost aggro, you have to stop DPS. You cannot let it die in the middle of the room, or it will wipe up. So the horses actually have to die in the corners. So that's when the healers can go to the safe zone, is when that horse is dead. But still continue the same thing.
Why do they have to die in the corner?
Their corpses continue making marks as well.
Yeah, yeah.
That's gnarly.
Yeah, so the fight is like pretty hard the whole way through. But it really, honestly, comes down to your personal play. Like, you can't rely on anyone else on this one. You have to stay alive. I don't want a pattern of the same people dying, because, what's it called? We won't be able to kill it if we have people that aren't doing the mechanics properly. So everyone has to focus, everyone has to stay alive. We will probably wipe a couple times because I want to do no buffs, no world buffs or anything. But I would like to get a couple in and then maybe do a world buff. Just Hail Mary, there we go. If get maybe a horse dead or something.
So Zelig is the one with the chain lightning. Mograine is the one with the high damage to tank. Mo is the one with
Void Zones.
The Void Zones. And then Thane is the one with the Meteor.
Meteor.
Yep. And Thane is going to be in this corner here. And Blummo is going to be in this corner over here. Ziliak's going to be in the far corner over this way. And Mograine, the hit the tank hard guy, is going to be over in the corner.
I've got 2 questions.
Yep.
So Hunter's in the safe zone, number 1. should you still be firing at something? What
You
is
won't be in range.
Yeah.
You won't. Okay. Question number 2: pets, yes or no?
Yeah, pets are fine, but they'll probably die.
But probably not on the chain lightning boss.
Yeah, yeah. You guys, we shouldn't be DPSing that until the first two guys are dead, and by then your pet's probably dead. Like,
Yeah,
very
no
high
melee should be in that boss.
Yeah. If you're for some miracle your pet's alive, I don't want to see it in the layout corner, and if it is, someone scream at the hunter.
Well, it's probably good for the meteor one anyway.
Yeah, I think it would be.
I
You could
wouldn't
send-
even use
even
your
if-
pet.